more on what the Republicans hope to see, we are joined now by Congresswoman Elise, a supporter of former President Donald Trump, who, of course, is in the hunt. Republicans would seem to have a lot of advantages this cycle. Gallup's got some polling showing more people lean that way. More people think the Republican Party is positioned to solve the nation's problems. And yet the polls suggest Donald Trump is not leaping out in front. What can J.D. Vance do to help bring the Republican message to a wider audience?
So I think, Tony, on the polling, people are very concerned about the economy, whether it's the inflation crisis or just this sense that people are not able to work hard and get ahead in Kamala Harris's economy. They're also concerned about the border. I think tonight you're going to see J.D. Vance tell his story, which is an extraordinary personal story only in America, but he's going to speak to those issues that matter to the American people. Again, number 1 and 2 are the economy and the border. He's going to compare Kamala Harris's failed record versus President Trump's strong record on both of those issues. But when it comes to the polling, I think it's important to point out as Republicans, this is not the first time that President Trump has been on the ballot. He was on the ballot in 2016 and 2020. He is polling better today than at both of those points in those elections. So this is the strongest position he's ever been in key swing states.
How is he preparing? And do you think that it will stick to the policies as opposed to, because some of the attacks, as you know, Congressman, have gotten very snarky, calling her mentally unstable. They've gotten very, very personal. Has he been encouraged, to just stick to the policies, to just keep it there and not go with the personal attacks? Because they don't seem to be helping this election.
Well, J.D. Vance, again, I think is going to share his personal story. This is his first time on the national stage, and he's doing a tremendous job as President Trump's vice presidential choice. When it comes to Tim Walz, he's had 2 decades in office, as well as his term as governor of Minnesota, where he underperformed Democrats in a traditionally blue state. I think you're going to see from J.D., again, speaking directly to the American people on key policy issues, but importantly, contrasting Kamala Harris's failure, whether it's as Joe Biden's open borders are, whether it's her deciding vote for the Inflation Expansion Act versus President Trump's success with an economic boom, the greatest in my lifetime, as well as strong border security.
Do you think J.D. Vance is doing a good job as a running mate? Only because another poll says that the Democrats are more enthusiastic about Walz as their VP nominee as opposed to J.D. Vance in your party.
And I saw him struggle to order some donuts the other day. He doesn't seem to always connect on a one-on-one level.
J.D. Vance does connect with voters. His personal story is very connective in this country, and that's why you're seeing President Trump and the Vance ticket do very well in Midwestern states that traditionally were considered the blue wall. We are in the margin of error. And again, President Trump always overperforms those states. And when it comes to enthusiasm, there is an enthusiasm gap from Democrats. Democrats are not as enthusiastic to vote for the Harris-Walz ticket as Republicans are. And that's the case in nearly every, not only swing states, but every House competitive race as well.
So, Congresswoman, you've probably seen polling that shows a significant gender gap. CBS News polling shows 55% to 44% in this race, with Kamala Harris having a double-digit lead with women. So does that concern you, especially in states where abortion initiatives are on the ballot?
Sure. So I want to touch upon this. You also need to point out that there's a gender gap where men overwhelmingly are voting for President Trump. It's an even larger gender gap. When it comes to women, all issues are women's issues, the economy, the border. And I talk about President Trump's successful record when it comes to giving economic opportunity for women, having those policies in place, whether it's expanding access to child care, doubling the child tax credit, paid leave. That was President Trump that put that into place for federal workers, as well as the largest number of women in the workforce, the largest number of women starting small businesses. This is a tremendous record that President Trump has for women. And of course, on the abortion issue, President Trump has been very clear. He supports IVF. He is pro-life with exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. And he believes it should move back to states. So again, there's a gender gap on both sides, but we're working hard to get our message out there of opportunity for all women in this country.
J.D. Vance is going to be the one on stage tonight. He's going to be doing the talking, providing this message from the Republican side to women. And a lot of the things he's said about women, I just hear it from women in my life. They don't like the way he talks about a woman's role, a women's rights, women's options in life, their horizon in life. Where's the disconnect here? You're right. Republicans are winning men, but they're not doing great on women.
I think it's very important that J.D. tells his personal story of marrying Usha, who is a tremendously successful spouse in her own right. Academically, they met at Yale Law School. They have a beautiful family with 3 kids. And I know the media has attacked comments that J.D. Vance has made, but he's talked about how we need to return to pro-family, pro-children, and making sure policies promote that. Again, whether it's expanding of the child tax credit, whether it's supporting Parents' Bill of Rights when it comes to educational opportunities. And I think he will speak about that tonight.
The media. Where's the media?
You guys are right here.
Oh, that's us? Okay.
We'll all be watching.
Congresswoman Stefanik, thank you very much. Appreciate it.